Welcome to Hornbilltv's Primetime with Ngullie. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have loaded up on a lot of chilled fruit juice and water. The past several days have been very uncomfortable for all of us. It has been some kind of a teaser to the kind of summer we might be having this year. Dimapur has always been the poster child for heat and sweat in Nagaland, but there seem to be a lot of new challenges here to Dimapur's 38 to 39 degrees Celsius. People from Kohima and of all places, Mokokchung, have been complaining about the heat too. The power cuts have already turned up the angry temperatures even more. So let's hope cool heads will prevail until power in Nagaland is restored fully. And while we wait for power to be restored, let's plan a little bit more of saplings. Maybe things have been a little bit extreme for all of us during the summer, but I think if we can start now, things will be a little better for us in the future. So yeah, let's get back to the news. The tensions have been high in the northeast states, especially Assam, Nagaland, of course, due to the violence in Manipur, and primarily due to the ethnic violence in Manipur. There has been a lot of stories of not only death and injury and damage to property, but also displacement. And elsewhere in Nagaland, the office of the the office of the Naga Students Federation was found demolished, apparently without people even noticing it in Kohima. Of course, this led to a deluge of memes across the internet, mocking the people of Kohima for being very bad listeners. So June also started off with a very bad note. Just the previous night, June 2nd, yesterday, more than 200 people were killed and almost 1,000 people injured, according to reports, after two trains crashed into another derailed train in Odisha. So let's check out the top newsmakers of the week. India is currently blowing through one of its worst train disasters in several decades, ladies and gentlemen. More than 200 people have died and approximately 900 people have been injured when the Coromandel Bengaluru Howrah express trains derailed and hit a goods train in Balasore district of Odisha on June 2nd, yesterday. At the time this program was going on air, the total was being cited at 288 deaths and about 900 injured. Well, there are some reports saying that the deaths are actually about 261 and about 650 people have been injured. Those were the numbers we received today. We are still yet to get any official statements in regard to the deaths and the casualties toll here. The railways authorities have initiated a high-level investigation into the train crash. The inquiry is to be led by the Commissioner of Railway Safety. The Commissioner of Railway Safety works under the Ministry of Civil Aviation and investigates all such accidents. Officials in Bhubaneswar said about 200 ambulances, 50 buses and 45 mobile health units were working at the site of the accident at the time this was going on air. Besides, reports say that there are about 1,200 personnel there working. Emergency and rescue teams have been carrying out rescue operations since the accident took place. The Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw on Saturday reached the spot and assured the people there that the government will conduct a detailed high-level inquiry on the mishap. A detailed high-level inquiry will be conducted and the Railway Safety Commissioner will also conduct an independent inquiry in this regard, he said. We do not know the cause of the accident yet, but initial reports from the national media that we have been receiving here have been pointing to the likelihood of signal failure. We will be updating you about this as and when new details come in. The news that Tripura was considering an exclusively all women's police battalion was one of the highlights of the previous week's news space. Ladies and gentlemen, Tripura Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha had announced that the state's government plans to establish a new battalion of female troopers within the Tripura State Rifles. Ladies and gentlemen, this decision is aimed at empowering women in the state, and this has received a very high positive feedback rates during the CM's conclave in New Delhi. Initially, 2 TSR battalions were planned. 10 positions were reportedly reserved for women. However, the state subsequently committed to forming an entire battalion consisting of approximately 1,000 female soldiers led by a commandant equivalent to the rank of a superintendent of police in the Tripura Police Service. We have got another news from Tripura, and this has to do with medical and biological conditions. A woman in Tripura delivered a pair of conjoined twin girls at the Gomati District Hospital in Udaipur in Tripura. Ladies and gentlemen, the complicated surgery was conducted on May 26th, said officials earlier. The woman, identified as Rabadi Riang, was brought to the hospital from Balbara of Korbrok subdivision. Dr. Kajal Das, a senior gynecologist at the district hospital, attended to Rabadi Riang and oversaw the delivery. The unusual condition was initially detected through ultrasound sonography. That's what the report said. It was found that the heads of both babies were conjoined. Detailing the rare medical condition, Dr. Das had said then that normally when two fetuses develop inside a woman's body, they separate after a certain period. However, in this case, due to some certain medical circumstances, the separation of the twins did not occur as expected, which resulted in the rare condition Dr. Das had said earlier. Both the babies were reportedly under advanced medical observation in the hospital. That's the available report that we have right now. Dr. Das had also said that he had anticipated the mother giving birth to twin babies, but the conjoined condition was detected only during ultrasound examination. Another news event from the previous week was the assurance of the central government to conduct an inquiry into the violence in Manipur that left at least 80 persons dead. Union Home Minister Amit Shah was in Manipur a few days ago on a 4-day visit. Addressing the media, Shah had said that the government was committed to restoring peace in Manipur as soon as possible and ensure the return of refugees to their homes. Shah had also announced on Thursday that a panel led by a retired High Court judge would be investigating the violence in Manipur, which led to the death of at least 80 people since May 3rd, when the violence broke out. Further, the Home Minister had said that a peace committee under the Manipur governor and with all political parties and representatives from both the sides would be set up. That's what the Home Minister said. Amit Shah also assured that there will be free, fair and neutral investigation into the conflict in Manipur. Further, Amit Shah also announced that the center and the Manipur government would be giving about 5 lakh rupees as compensation to the families of the deceased. Interestingly, the Home Minister called the Manipur High Court's order a hasty decision, which, according to the Home Minister, led to the conflict between the Kuki and Meitei communities in Manipur. The court's order had reportedly asked the state government to submit a recommendation to grant the scheduled tribe status to the Meitei community members. Now let's check out the biggest news maker for Nagaland during the previous week, ladies and gentlemen. The office of the Naga Students Federation in Kohima was found to have been demolished during the wee hours of May 27th, ladies and gentlemen. The demolition of the building as serious and condemnable as it was also an event that brought out the hilarious absurdity of being a Naga for so many reasons, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that nobody heard or saw anything enough to report the matter, and the fact that an excavator, a JCB driver, instead of the destroyers behind it, was arrested, and then the confusion in most people about who or what this Naga Club was, will be a classic tragic comedy. Adding to the confusion was that a few people, especially the youth, had even heard about this organization called the Naga Club. The idea of this organization existing was a little bit confusing for them, because most of us, I think we know the Naga Club as the organization that led the Naga movement during the 1918 and 1929 eras. So this organization no longer exists in any form or spirit. So the confusion among the youth was that, they really didn't know from where the Naga Club came about. So the NSF office was initially reported to have been vandalized. But as images of the destroyed building emerged, it became clear that this was no ordinary vandalism, ladies and gentlemen. Rather, it was a straight-out planned demolition. The building also housed the offices of the Old Nagaland College Students Union and the Kohima Press Club, and of course several shops within that building. The days following the demolition, it emerged that the members of this group called the Naga Club was behind it. There have been claims and counterclaims over the ownership of the building, as you are aware. So let's see what the court says if this case goes to the court. Leaders of the Naga Club were recently granted bail on Monday by the Guwahati High Court Kohima bench on the condition that the petitioners appear before the investigating authority within 3 days, and they have to pay a surety of rupees 20,000 during the period till the next hearing of the case. The next hearing is scheduled for June 5th. What do you think about this case? It will be very interesting if you will also let us know your views in the comments if you're watching this on social media. Another piece of news this week is another instance of attack on moral education and family values in the West. The state of Utah in the United States has removed the Bible from elementary and middle schools. It claimed that the Bible contained vulgarity and violence. The ban on the Bible in schools come amid a larger effort by U.S. conservatives in states to ban teaching on topics such as LGBT rights and racial identity. Officials say that they have removed 7 to 8 copies of the Bible from their shelves, while also noting that the text was never part of the students' curriculum in the school. However, reports indicate that the committee did not elaborate on why or which part of the Bible contained violence or vulgarity. The Utah state lawmaker who wrote the 2022 law had previously dismissed the Bible removal request as a mockery, but changed course later this week after calling it a challenging read for younger children. Those were some of the important news events during the previous week, and of course today's too. We'll be bringing you more updates in this regard, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching Hornbilltv. I'm Ngullie. See you next time.